Welcome to Wildlife Watch. Tonight, we turn our attention to one of Africa's most endangered hunters. That is the African wild dog. With only a few thousand left in the wild, with the exception of us having one right here at Pepperdine. What's being done to save this predator? Our team investigates.
Thank you, Cami. I am here in the wild learning more about the Lycaon pictus, the African wild dog, or painted wolf, referring to the animal's coat, which is a mix of red, brown, white, and black.
These African wild dogs belong to the phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, and family Canidae, the same family as domestic dogs and wolves. It's closely related to wolves, which are also known to carry diseases that affect humans and livestock. These social and very exciting mammals are also known for their incredible teamwork during hunts.
African wild dogs are located in Africa in the savannas and woodlands.
African wild dogs are carnivores, and more specifically, they eat antelope.
Legal mechanisms taken to protect the African wild dogs is making shooting African wild dogs illegal in South America. Other actions taken. DSWF, the David Shepherd Wildlife Foundation, fights to protect the African wild dog population by funding law enforcement programs in Zimbabwe. Through this, the foundation monitoring and oversee anti-poaching efforts have helped protect over a large span of the painted dog habitat. The anti-poaching team spend thousands of hours removing snars from the bush every year. This would otherwise injure or kill the dogs. By removing these snars, it has saved the lives of over 500 animals, including the African wild dogs. It is only because the DSWF funded patrolling that is possible for these teams' monitoring programs to help free and save the lives of the dogs.
Joining us is Dr. Kay Carson, a wildlife conservation specialist working closely with the endangered species across Africa.
Thank you for having me.
What can we, the average Pepperdine student, or just the average human, do to help?
Well, if you don't have plans to fly out to Africa this weekend, you can still make a difference by supporting legit wildlife organizations. You can spread awareness on social media for your next Earth Day post.
One of the major concerns with the African wild dog is the rabies transmission. Rabies, a viral disease that affects the central nervous system. Rabies is transmitted through the saliva through bites. Rabies travels through the nervous system and causes symptoms such as fever, aggression, confusion, and eventually death. A single bite from a rabid animal can be fatal if the vaccine is poor quality, resulting in 59,000 human deaths annually, mostly in Africa and Asia. Domestic dogs are typically the source of rabies in humans, especially in areas where humans, livestock, and wildlife interact very closely. The African wild dogs, or Lycaon pictus, are one of the most endangered carnivores in Africa with fewer than 7,000 individuals remaining. We are worried about threats such as conflict with farmers, diseases like rabies and distemper, along with habitat fragmentation.
Based on a recent study from the African Wild Dog Foundations, one can learn about their lifespan, geographical challenges, and solutions. The African wild dog faces human-wildlife conflict, in which many can have been shot and poisoned by farmers who assume they are a hyena or leopard. They are also losing their habitat due to fragmentation, which increases human-wildlife conflict. Some solutions include working with communities to construct bomas and protect livestock from predators, ultimately avoiding conflict with humans. Conservationists and our team are tackling these challenges through a mix of strategies.
Some strategies that are being used to help protect the wild dogs are vaccination programs, which include oral vaccines to help prevent the spread of diseases. Next is wildlife corridors, which are safe pathways that connect habitats so that the dogs can move freely between areas. Last, GPS collars are being used to track pack movements and to help better understand the dog's behavior.
Until next time, zoologists!